Hello everyone and welcome back to another day of Road to TCG Worlds 2018 and the first day where we are going to start covering all of the Crimson Invasion cards. I'm really excited for this set. It's probably not a groundbreaking set like Guardians Rising was, but there's definitely a lot of cards that are interesting, and immediately we're gonna be playing a deck based around two of those. So for Buzzwole-GX, Buzzwole, one of the most hyped cards from the set, 190 HP, pretty good for a basic Pokemon. It's an Ultra Beast, although I don't think that matters at all. Then we have Jet Punch, which deals 30 damage, and you get to deal 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So pretty good attack. With Strong Energy and Choice Band, you're dealing up to 80 damage and then 30 to the bench, which is pretty nice for a single energy. And then you have Knuckle Impact, which deals 160 and you cannot attack the next turn. And then you have the GX attack Absorption GX, which deals 40 damage for each of your remaining prize cards. So not the best GX attack, definitely, because it takes a while to power up and you're probably going to end up drawing a few prizes early on. But it's definitely a potentially good comeback attack, I guess. So pretty decent. Psychic Weakness is horrible, however we are playing our own Garbodor in this deck in order to counteract that. And the 2 Retreat Gust is not great, but it's not horrible either. I actually would have preferred this to be a 3 Retreat Gust card, because that would have allowed us to play Heavy Ball as an extra Pokemon resource find, but that's not the case. And then we have a single Kartana GX now. We are running Rainbow Energy, so the ability Slice Off could potentially be good at random times to play it down on the bench, especially when you don't have Garbotoxin up and going. Gale Blade we probably won't be using at all, because it costs 3 energy and it only does 70 damage, and you shuffle Kartana, so you essentially lose all those energy attachments. However, Kartana is here because of the Blade GX, where you simply take a prize card. So Kartana GX gives you a really good way to finish off a game. If you're able to at some point afford the energy drop of Rainbow onto a Kartana, you can just leave it there on the bench, and then once you're down to 1 prize card, you essentially win the game. And so you never have to play this 7 prize card game, which sometimes do happen, right? Then we have a 3/2/2 line of Garbodor, 2 Trash Avalanche, which deals 20 damage per item card on your opponent's discard pile, and then 2 Garbotoxin, which do shut off abilities. And then finally we have 3 Tapu Lele in order to get things going, and 1 Espeon-EX, because we are spreading damage around, so either we finish things off with Garbodor, or the damage piles up so much that Espeon-EX actually becomes a win condition. We're running 4 Sycamore, 4 and 4 Guzma, a single Brigette and a single Lele. Dropping an energy on turn 1 is really important, so sometimes you prefer to use Lele instead of Brigette as your turn 1 supporter. Lele is also a good card to draw when you're end down to very few cards, so that's really good. And then for consistency purposes, we have 4 Pokémon, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Choice Band, 4 Float Stone, and 2 Rescue Stretchers. So no crazy text other than the 1 Kartana. Kartana, Lele, and Brigette are the only cards we have singles of in the deck, or at Espeon as well, but we can search for all of them. So pretty reliable deck. And then we have 4 Strong, 4 Rainbow, and 4 Fighting Energy. So let's take this into ladder, which at this point, since the set just got released, I actually think that we probably won't be facing too many decks with the new cards, and I have prepared a few other decks, but I do want to use those in a live stream. If this gets released on Friday, then probably tomorrow I will be live streaming for quite a while. In theory in Spanish, but I might do 2 hours in English and 2 hours in Spanish, because I know a lot of people want the English stream as well. So I'll decide that tomorrow in the morning. I'll try to make it an early stream for sure. So yeah, we find our first opponent, who is potentially using a mirror match. He had Metal, he had Psychic, and he had Fighting as well. So we win the coin flip. However, I'm not entirely sure if in the mirror match it's actually correct to go first, because you don't get the first attack in. We're gonna start Lele, not Buzzwole, which is not ideal, of course. Pokémon damage to rack up damage on those evolutions is pretty good, I would say, especially since we're running 4 of them. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I want to venture and say this is most likely a mirror match. So we have to be very careful with our item counts. We also want to be careful with our Pokémon damage potentially. So let's figure out our prize cards. There's 1 Trubbish priced, 1 Trash Challenge Garbodor priced, 1 Tapu Lele priced, 1 Buzzwole priced, so 4 Pokemon. 4 Pokemon, and then 1 basic fighting. Oh, is there another Pokemon prize? Oh, and Espeon. What? There's 5 Pokemon prize? That's crazy. Okay, so I think we definitely want to get Buzzwole here, and we just want to end. I also want to attach the rainbow to the Lele. For now, I guess I'll play the Pokémon. My opponent probably has Pokémon himself. And we do manage to get a Float Stone to conserve the energy potentially next turn. So I'm gonna pass for now. We didn't develop our field too much in this previous turn. You almost always want Strong Energy more so than Fighting Energy, of course. I was also thinking DC could potentially be good in this. For Lele, for potentially Kartana, potentially Garbodor. So maybe a 2-2 split with basic fighting and TCs. Although, I don't know, with circuitry being released, I do like having basic energy because you won't always have Wonder Tag available. So we see a Brigette. I just realized I'm also not playing Field Blower, so not playing Field Blower could actually be problematic. So that's why everything fit. And wow, so my opponent gets the Dream Start. Wow. He gets all of that off of one hand, off of a single end. So we end him into the absolutely most perfect hand ever. Is it even, like, I could attack with Lele. I could generally attack with Lele here. And he prioritized Trubbishes. Wow, I can't believe my opponent got that huge turn 1. He had the Float, the Lele, the Strong, the Choice Band, everything. And then he deals exactly 80 damage, so I cannot leave Lele up there. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to just Lele for 3 cards. Not the greatest 3 cards, of course. And his 80 versus our 30 damage. That's just pathetic. Like, what a hand by my opponent. What a start. What a huge start for him. Yeah. 1 attack by my, and he has the Sycamore. Wow. What a hand. Incredible. We'll see how this goes. We'll have to be very smart with our attacks and with our item usage as well. But right off the bat, we're at a huge disadvantage. It's just that Choice Band plus Strong immediately. So now we have that, but I mean, fair enough, I guess we can do this. But yeah, it's like I'm not even getting any like setup behind this. Whereas my opponent has his Sycamore, he's gone through his deck. Okay, at least we have the knockout on the Buzzwole next turn. As long as my opponent doesn't find a Field Blower. So we have that going for us. he's gonna deal 80, will be at 110. Lele will need potentially 3 energy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so that's one card difference. That is one card difference from us. Wow, that's just insane. That is actually insane. I mean, I think I just have to keep damaging this Buzzwole. And then I recover and get another Buzzwole going, but if I attach to this Buzzwole, I can knock out this Buzzwole the next turn. But then Tapu Lele just comes up and knocks me out. I still think it's too slow to just wait for another Buzzwole-GX though. Oh my gosh. Things are not looking good, guys. Things are not looking good. Could use my GX attack to prevent, like, so that I can have consecutive attacks. Then if he places 30 here, that's pretty much game, because all he needs is an energy on Lele to knock out my Buzzwole, and there it is. So my opponent just having the perfect hand on turn 1 and on turn 2 to counter us. Crazy stuff, guys, crazy stuff. Okay, maybe we can put the Guzma to some use here. Okay, so getting the Buzzwole actually gives us a potential opening where we can end my opponent into 2 really bad cards, and we get 6, and then hopefully we can just finish up the Lele, or we can use Guzma and then attack the Trubbish twice. No, I think we have to go with this, so I'm gonna go with the end play. Really sucks though, really sucks. Probably also misplayed that 30. I should have just put it on the Lele, but we're gonna try at least. We really need another Strong to follow this up, or at least a choice band. Okay, we got the choice band, which is not bad. My opponent has played a single item card. And I definitely use this, I guess, to bench a Trubbish. And then hopefully off of the Sycamore we get something useful going. So I'm just gonna Knuckle Impact here. If my opponent somehow doesn't knock out the Buzzwole, we have the Float Stone to retreat. Okay, so there's a Buzzwole and there's a Lele. If my opponent whiffs the energy here, that would be magical, but my opponent just rips the Sycamore off of the end to 2. So a single energy wins him the game. It's a single energy that's not a Strong or Garb Psychic. If he whiffs here, there it is. Yeah, another energy just deals, or a choice band. Like, he has so many outs. So many outs. Is he really only going to deal 100 damage? Oh man, okay, so this is game because my opponent has, well, I can't Guzma and win. Yeah, that's game, because now wherever my Buzzwole goes, I lose. So perhaps Acerola is really important in the mirror match. I feel like, the way my opponent drew and the way I drew, I was always behind since the first turn. Like, I was always going to play catch up. The Acerola just was the icing on the cake, and then the Sycamore top deck. The Sycamore top deck, which didn't give him the win, but it did give him the win because now Buzzwole was the win. So, I mean, if I would have had a rainbow, I still wouldn't have won because he didn't have enough item cards in the discard pile for me to one-shot that Buzzwole. So, like, I had no chance whatsoever. That was just a crazy game by my opponent. Crazy good draw by my opponent. Okay, so we start Buzzwole. That's good. Maybe the Cortana is just like too much of a fancy play and we should be using Acerola. That was the only card that was different, right? Well, my opponent was using basic Psychic Energy, which I kind of disagree with. Okay. So, looks like we're up against Volcanion. Okay, so I'm gonna take this turn to Brigette. Discarding Pokémon and the Rainbow, I guess. Let's figure out our prize cards. We have one Trubbish prized, we have one Buzzwole prized, and the Cortana. Then we have one Stretcher prized, one Rainbow prized, and one basic fighting prize. No, not one basic fighting. So there's something else that's priced that I'm not realizing. What is it? It's Trubbish, Buzzwole, Stretcher, Rainbow, Cortana, and something else. I'm not sure what it is though. It's okay. So we definitely want to set up Trubbish in order to have Garbotoxin potential. Now, without Garbotoxin, we're really gonna have a bad time against Volcanion decks because they can just one-hit KO our Buzzwoles and we're not dealing too much damage. There's a Fighting Fury Belt, so once again the lack of Field Blower could hurt us here, definitely. The lack of Field Blower could hurt us. However, we see an Enhanced and a Super Rod and an Troll, so Garbodor Trash Challenge could actually be really good here. Really good. Okay, so we see a Steam Up. So my opponent completely out of cards, but he manages to pull off a turn 1 Power Heater for 50 damage. Of course, as fate would have it, my only supporter card in hand is actually N, so I will not be using it. I will definitely not be using it, and let's see what my opponent top decks. Fire, fair enough. There's no point in using Guzma because my opponent can just freely retreat. Thankfully we get an Ultra Ball. So now we get to Lele for a Sycamore. Or maybe even getting Lily is actually better. Oh, Lily is the card that's priced. There we go. We figured it out. Lily is the card that is priced. So let's Sycamore here. Get our Rainbow, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 item cards. 120 damage, that's pretty good. We can also power up this Buzzwole as well in order to threaten my opponent. Playing Pokémon makes no sense. Well, it kind of does, just in case my opponent top decks N. But I'll just Jet Punch here. So my opponent not only needs Well, my opponent needs a way to retreat next turn to get a knockout. He only power heaters, attaches to bulk. Now we don't have the Guzma that I discarded, but that's fine, I guess. I mean, do I retreat and take a knockout with Garb? Is that the best play here? I don't think it is. What could my opponent's card be that he didn't play? Could be a switch, could be a Guzma. I guess maybe going for Garbotoxin Garb is correct here. I don't need the choice band. At least not right now. So going for Garbotoxin Garb feels correct. That way Tapu Lele is no longer an option for my opponent. I'm gonna keep the rainbow. No more abilities, so we should out damage this Volcanion before he gets us. And my opponent top decks an Enhanced Hammer. Or maybe that was the card he got from the previous turn. Actually, that was probably the card he got from the previous turn. Now it might be an energy in his hand. Definitely super important to keep the rainbow energy so that we have the option to attack with Garbodor. I'm just gonna Jet Punch here. My opponent needs to top deck Field Blower and for that card to be Fire Energy to get a knockout. I hope he top decked a Tapu Lele somewhere around now. So yeah, Garbotoxin, putting in the work. Wow, my opponent has Guzma. Okay. So one of the cards is Guzma. Now we might see now is where we might see a Lele drop, but that's okay, I think. I'll do this, and then I'll do this. Trash Avalanche for 140 damage. Pretty decent amount. We get the two prizes. And this win is gonna come down to my opponent just completely dead drawing, I think. Which was very fortunate for us. And there's the Lele, so yeah. I figured my opponent top decks something like that. He goes for Lily. Draws 4 extra cards. Okay. So 50 damage. My opponent actually got a pretty good turn here. So what do I do now? I think I Rescue Stretcher the 3 Pokemon back. And then I probably want to take a knockout with the Clean Buzzwole because that means he needs 2 Volcanion EXs and 2 Fire Energy, and he has 1 card in hand. I'll attach the Float Stone to this Buzzwole, I guess, and I'm just gonna Sycamore here. No point in keeping the N alive, I think. Okay, so we get a Strong. The Strong actually potentially allows us to knock out whatever I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Garbodor also gets a 1 KO on anything we want. So yeah, we should be good here. We really should be good. I probably should have just put the Trubbish back into my bench, onto my bench. And there's the victory. So my opponent's hand was probably still dead at that point. Now let's find another game and see if we can keep the deck working. So we didn't get the absolutely stellar start that my opponent in the first game had, but It's been getting better. Field Blower is definitely a card that I should have included into the list. Perhaps the Rescue Stretcher is too fancy. Perhaps the Espeon is fancy. The Kartana is definitely fancy. So there's workable space there to move around. Now we see Darkness, Psychic, and Lightning. So I feel like this is going to be one of those spreading decks that has been very popular. It's probably going to be some sort of Zoroark deck. I actually don't want to bench the Trubbishes, I don't think. Just because... why? Because of a turn 1 Guzma. I guess I'll bench them. I don't know. I think it's sometimes correct not to bench them. Especially when you always want to lead with Buzzwole. Okay. There's the Ultra Wall. Okay, so it's actually Ninetales Zoroark, so this should be a really good match. Like in order to showcase the deck against one of the most popular decks, I want to say. Gosh, it's really hot. Okay, so the Alola Ninetales gone is actually okay because now there's less pressure for us to get Garbotox and Garbo. We don't have a way to 1-KO Vulpixes, so that's not ideal. But my opponent doesn't attach an energy on turn 1, which is always good. I'm gonna do this, and I'm actually gonna Lele instead of Sycamore. Okay, so I do get the Fighting, which is awesome. I think spreading the damage around between both Vulpixes is the ideal case here. I'm not too bothered by Tapu Koko, and my opponent shouldn't be either, just because with a single choice band he can't get a knockout, and once again we're gonna really need those 2 Field Blowers that I don't have in the deck. So those could essentially cost us the game. So perhaps the Devolving strategy is actually gonna be our best course of action here, because if they're stuck at 60 HP or at 60 damage, my opponent might not be tempted to Ice Path, and whenever he does Ice Path, that means he's not taking a knockout, right? He's not knocking out the Buzzwole. So that's really good. Here we see a Beacon for another Vulpix and a Zoroark GX. We have a way to potentially knock out that Zorua this turn. So perhaps that's actually the play here. We did top deck an energy, which is pretty good. Getting a prize card on that Zorua is very tempting though. Very tempting. Although if I attack the Ninetales, maybe that would pressure him into using Ice Path GX already, because he would have 110 damage on it. And therefore we would be safe to just keep spreading damage and go for the Espeon Devolve strategy later on. So I like that a little bit more. I think that's the way we win this game. So we're just gonna Jet Punch, and I definitely want to take the knockout on the Vulpix here. Just because it's one less potential Ninetales we have to deal with. So lots of Float Stones in our initial hand. I wouldn't mind an end by my opponent just because we have so many draw resources still. There's a Zoroark. There's another Vulpix, and there's the end. So this is fine. If my opponent whiffs energy here, that would actually be amazing. He has 90 damage on him. We got the Strong. Is he going to Ice Path? I think if he does Ice Path, that's actually a mistake, and that would be really good for us. Already 4 item cards in my opponent's discard pile, so that's pretty good. Slowly but surely, Trash Avalanche becomes a threat against many decks. And no, my opponent but he chooses to go for Ice Blade. So he knows we cannot take a knockout next turn. He knows. If he was at 110, 80, 100. Yeah, so we needed the first energy to be strong instead of fighting. Okay, so the thing is, if my opponent takes 2 prizes with Ice Path, that's definitely the worst case scenario possible. The Choice Band is actually hurting us because now we cannot evolve and knock out the Ninetales. So I think we're actually going to go after the Zoroark now. What do I discard though? Probably the Float Stone. So I'm gonna Lele for Guzma, but I'm not a fan of doing this. Yeah, that Choice Band is actually hurting us here. I do want to get a Guzma. Now, if I attach another energy to this Buzzwole, I probably force my opponent Okay, so how do I do this? If I attach another energy and I don't, no, I still need to do it this way. Do I attack with a new Buzzwole? I'm actually not sure. I think attacking with a new one is correct. I think. Because, well, we actually don't 2-hit KO. Actually, because Zoroark has 210 HP, so we're 10 short. That could actually be good if my opponent doesn't find a way to retreat. We need a huge top deck though. A huge top deck. There's an Aqua Patch. We're probably gonna see a Guzma here. Guzma to knock out this Buzzwole, or simply a retreat. That works. That actually just works. Yeah, we're in a lot of trouble here, guys. We are in a lot of trouble, and on paper, I don't see how we beat Ninetales. Even with the Field Blowers, I don't see how we beat Ninetales. I mean, definitely not drawing this way because we've used one draw supporter. We have used a single draw supporter, and that's not a draw supporter either. Ugh. It's just evil. Okay, so we have to hope. Oh, I should have knocked out the Vulpix. We have to hope we top deck something. An energy or a way to draw an energy. There's the TCE. So 3 DCs by my opponent. There's the Guzma. Yeah, that's game. Because he can knock out with Ice Path here. And then he has the Ninetales fully powered up to knock out Buzzwole or Ninetales here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 item cards. We top deck a Guzma. So pretty underwhelming performance for the deck, I want to say. We lost the mirror to a perfect hand on turn 1 by my opponent. We beat a Volcanion that dead drew, and then we got beat by Zoroark, Alola Ninetales that didn't dead draw, and we did. So changes I would make to the deck. Kartana is definitely not gonna be worth the space, I don't think. Potentially 1 Fighting Energy, and then there's the space for the double Field Blower. If we wanted an Acerola, just like my first opponent had, we might just drop the Lily, I guess, for the Acerola. Lily's was not that great, so this is how I would play out the deck from now on. This is a list that will be down below in the comments in case you wanna play around with it. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you leave a like on the video, it really helps out the channel. And sorry about the deck underperforming, but perhaps the hype is just not quite there. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.